what kind of participation we can have tonight. We are going live, talk about a few topics, and see who is able to join us. So good evening, everyone. Once you join in, please let us know where you're from. What are you drinking tonight? Again, want to always thank all of our supporters, our Patreon group, our subscribers. Get some subscribers, help us continue to build this community. Again, we have a whole lot of fun with it. We are building a community, making great connections with people from all over, first of all, the country, but all over the world. So we love seeing people from different places, and especially all the other services. It's primarily a Marine channel, maybe, and there are a lot of Marines on here. But we love, again, the men and women from the other services as well. Talk about a few things tonight. Again, this is in the middle of the week. We'll see how it works out for all of us. For a few, oh, look at already. All right. William, good to see you, brother. Physical fitness is kind of one of the topics I want to talk about tonight. I do post on them every now and then. I remember early on, I did a post about physical fitness, and you know, a lot of, especially young guys, they want to get big and cut at the same time. I think everybody wants to do that. They want abs. They want to get big, strong, and cut all at once. Doesn't really work like that. All right, Charlie, I see you here. Bryce, Gary. All right, good to see y'all here. All right, this is working out great. So, physical fitness. I know we bounce back and forth on this channel, but again, like-minded people, leadership, physical fitness. Did I say leadership? Because that's a big one as well. And of course, boot camp, and just our military service experiences, right? Life. That's what we all have in common. That's the like-mindedness of all this. Anderson, PT every day. John McJunkin. Yes, awesome. All right, so physical fitness. Here's what I really want to say about it. Two things. In the very beginning, again, I did a couple posts early on. If you were to look back at my posts from early on, I did one and I got a lot of great feedback, but I got one feedback from a guy who got pretty intense with it. And again, from what I know, and that's what people ask me, how long you been working out? Well, pretty much since high school. So my whole life, on and off. Sometimes I'm in great shape and sometimes not so great shape, depending on what I was doing in the Marine Corps, if we were deployed or not, if I was going to schools or not. So on and off forever. And what I found works for me may not work for everybody. So that's what I shared in the video. What worked for me is bulking, heavy weight, low reps. And that's kind of a old school way of thinking, is what this gentleman was trying to share with everybody. That's old school, and that's, things have changed. Times have changed, and all the science that goes into it. I don't do that kind of science research, but what I do know is what has worked from experience. So building bulk, when I'm in that building phase, off season, I eat a lot, which is the best part of it, but I also work out heavy weight, low reps. Then when it comes time to cut, and you do want to lose that fat, again, Marine Corps standards, we'll talk about that in a minute. That's when you do a little less weight, but a lot of reps, right? You're burning calories now. It's more of a cardio workout, less rest in between sets. And again, with today's technology and all the YouTube information channels on physical fitness and all the scientists that get involved in it, there is a lot of stuff that can work for you. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. So that's, again, what this gentleman was trying to tell me. That's old and outdated, and you better do some research. My research is my own personal experience. And people I've worked out with over the years, of course, some really big, strong guys, and some really physically fit guys. So obviously, I don't have the answer to all of it, but that's kind of where I was coming from when I made that post. And I do love to talk about it because I do think physical fitness is highly important, especially in the Marines. All right, so that's one of the topics we want to talk about. Again, welcome everybody. Let me know where you're tuning in from and what you're drinking tonight. Look at y'all. Thanks, brother. You're right. Approaching the 14K mark. That's awesome. Again, share with your friends, neighbors, anyone that might want to talk about some of the topics that we talk about. Wonder Boy from Colorado. We spent a little time in Colorado. We went to a conference there. Plain, sparkling water. All right. Semper Fi. Fouled Anchor. Good to see you, brother. Bryce is Agua in Minnesota. Yeah, water. I got to drink more water. We talked about a little bit. Fouled Anchor's in California. How's the weather out there? My brother lives in Northern California. He said they got snow one day, and then it was blazing hot 2 days later. Anderson Ho, Hot Jasmine Tea, Fredericksburg, Virginia. It's got to be beautiful up there right now. William from Tampa, Florida. Jerry, Houston, Texas. Big Daddy, Florida. Wait a minute, I'm Big Daddy. Big Daddy from Florida. Good to see you. Jake, awesome, Texas. Hey, where at in Texas, Jake? Chance, Cindy Love from Washington State. Thank everyone for their service. Thank you. Appreciate that. Ira. Fouled Anchor, 100 degrees in Northern California. Wow. Jeff's Outdoors Experience, Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Nice. Mike Oxlong, it looks like. Sean Strickland. Hey, Strickland. The same Sean Strickland? Francis from Pitt. Is that Pittsburgh? Francis, good to see you. Finishing up school Friday. Nice. Yes, my kids are as well. Laura, Connecticut, in the house. Connecticut in the house. What are you drinking, Laura? Texas in PA, in Pennsylvania. Born in Texas, Jake? Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Francis. How about them Steelers? Eric Reinhardt, upstate New York. One of the places I've never been. Daniel, hey, do you have any advice to become in a DI? Daniel, ask that again in a little bit, because I also want to talk about, of course, DI duty and boot camp. Dr. Idiot, are Asians allowed to join the Marine Corps? Come on, Doc. Of course. Not in the military, wish I could, says Jake. Pendragon, keeping boot camp level hydration all times. Good for you. I have to do that more. I didn't know we were drinking. Drinking whatever. John McJunkin, Springfield, Missouri, drinking water. Brad, Trent, Sean Strickland. Can I identify? Oh, come on. How much do you weigh? All right. Okay, so again, welcome everybody. Great turnout. Appreciate you coming. Again, we're talking about physical fitness. So here's what I know, again, years of service is in the Marine Corps, every single school, excuse me, that I went to. So let's back up. Boot camp, is there a lot of physical fitness in boot camp? Yes. The training schedule has quite a bit on there, but not enough, to be honest with you. You only run 3 miles 2 times. That's the initial PFT and the final PFT. You don't run over 3 miles one time, and they've been taking this in and out. We did a moto run, which was about 4.5 or 5 miles. We ran, we did some exercises, ran a little more, but you don't run a whole lot. You run everywhere you go, like to the PT field, back from the PT field, maybe run to a class. I don't think they run enough in boot camp. Run. Excuse me, the other physical part of it, when you're getting thrashed, of course, that's a lot of PT and that's a lot of fun. So and you're just up and on your feet and moving from 0530 to 2100. So it's definitely, you have to be physically fit. And of course, you want to be a high PFT, or you want to score high on your PFT, and now the CFT and McMap training. So yes, it is very physically demanding. That's why when everyone, those of you ask on here, what I need to do to get ready for boot camp, physical fitness, push-ups, pull-ups, crunches, runs, whatever you can do to get in better shape than you already are now. If you're out of shape, talk to your recruiter. Let them get you in shape prior to going. So that's boot camp. Yes, you have to be physically fit. And then every other school I went to after boot camp, and those of you can chime in and back me up, every school you go to, there's going to be PT. I mean, that's a Marine thing. I'm sure the other services are similar, but I don't think you're as crazy as Marines. Like if you started out engineer basic school, it was 3 months of engineer stuff. We're in classroom environment and go to the field and do all those things. But PT was on the schedule. I think it was 3 days a week for a while. And then later on in my career to the engineer journeyman's course, I went to, it didn't have to be a PT school for us to PT. That's just what Marines do. Now, courses like McQuist, I went to the Marine Corps Instructor of Water Survival. That is an absolute butt kicker the entire time. That's all, I mean, of course, it's swimming and life-saving and all those things involved in being a McQuist, but it was the most physically demanding thing I've ever done in my life. But I assumed that before I even went. And then you switch it over to an instructor course that I went to, faculty advisor instruction. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was all classroom environment where you were taking tests and watching PowerPoints and having stuff thrown at you. After PT, of course. It's just the fact that everything we do in the Marine Corps is there's going to be physical fitness, a PT, PFT. First Orange course, first thing we got there, we did a PFT. So all that being said, is physical fitness important? 100%. And again, I like to believe the other services are similar, but I think you could go to a school in one of the other services and you're just going to school. Is PT going to be on the training schedule? Maybe not. I did go to the Air Force NCO Academy in Okinawa, Japan. Like one of the only Marines to ever go through there. It was kind of an exchange program. They sent me to theirs. They were going to send an E6 to our career course. I think they did eventually, but a while after I had already left. But in that school, it's very intense classroom study, 3 exams in 3 months. 1 exam a month, and it was very intense. A lot of classroom stuff. And they did have PT. It was like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1,500 at the end of the day. And they wasn't organized, but everyone went to the gym, and you kind of had a choice, walk, run, or ride a stationary bike, which most of them would walk around the track for about 30 minutes, and that'd be the end of the day. So that was new to me, and I didn't like it, didn't understand it. Why are we not PTing as a unit? Did that one post about moto runs. What is a moto run for? Why do we even do those? That you can just expect in a school that you go to, like DI school, NCO school. Now it's corporal's course, sergeant's course, and every school you go to, you know that you can expect a unit run, if not individual PT, every single day. And nowadays, every base has multiple gyms, and they're all pretty much awesome. Every one of them. Keep up with today's technology, and equipment. There's always enough to go around for everybody. We did a post on that asking what is your favorite gym. Hanson House of Pain is still my very favorite in Okinawa, Japan. But there are some amazing gyms all over the place. Every base. Air Force Base has some pretty amazing gyms with all the new CrossFit stuff, and again, some stuff I look at and don't even know what to do with it, but it has to do with physical fitness. The HIT training now in the Marine Corps. So it is, there's a lot of priority placed on it, which again, I think is awesome. Do you have to be physically fit to go to combat? Of course. That's why the Marine Corps was very happy when they added the CFT, the Combat Fitness Test. Wasn't very realistic to be able to run 3 miles. First, when I came in the Corps, the PFT was 3 miles in PT shorts, PT shoes, and a t-shirt. 3 miles, again, the time, depending on your age and gender, But a perfect score is 18 minutes, 3 miles, 3 6-minute miles, 18 minutes. 20 pull-ups was a perfect score, and back then it was 80 sit-ups. Then they changed to 100 crunches. So there's been a lot of changes with the PFT, but it still wasn't realistic to combat training. Okay, we learned very quickly in combat, especially in the last 20 years, that there's a lot of ammo can lifting up to resupply the gunners, and you're carrying a lot of stuff, and unfortunately your bodies. So they realized that you being physically fit for a PFT in shorts and tennis shoes wasn't a good replica of combat fitness. So they added it. I think it's amazing. Still working on the scores. I understand. Again, I've been out for a little while, but trying to make it even and again, more realistic to gender and age. That's always in there as well. So I do highly believe physical fitness is important. And in my video, my short today I did, doesn't matter how old you are. Okay, and I think the older you get, the more consistent you have to be. Because again, we all know it's something that muscle memory takes a little bit to get back. It's hard to get in shape, but it's easy and quick to get out of shape. So you got to watch it. Okay, you take out, I feel bad when I take like 2 days off. Like one day is like, it's just one day, I'll get it back tomorrow. But if it so happens, the schedule, you have to take 2 days, and then it's like, uh-oh, I got to get back in the gym. And that's the mindset that I have. And sometimes it's irritating because traveling, right? Anytime I travel, first thing I do is check on the hotel gym. What are the hours of it, and can I get a little bit in? Hotel gyms, we know, are kind of, they don't have the best equipment, but they got some stuff. And then what can you do without a gym at all, right? Can we thrash ourselves? Absolutely. Tons of videos, tons of people making workout videos. I can't even name them all. But I'm pretty sure I don't have to study a lot of those videos to thrash myself. I don't have to thrash myself, and here's how I know. If it hurts, I'm probably gaining. No pain, no gain. URAH. So yes, right there, push-ups, crunches. On the side of a bed, you can do, dips. There's just thrash yourself. Okay, you got to be someplace to run. If you can't run distance due to weather, run in place. Okay, burpees. Everyone loves some burpees. So not having a gym is not an excuse to not work out. And those are my thoughts on physical fitness and the importance of it. And then I ended it with, you look good, you feel good, right? You look sharp, you act sharp. And I can always tell by how my clothes fit. Right? When my clothes shrink, it might be time to watch what I eat a little bit or just PT some more. All right. My soapbox on physical fitness. Bet I'll run in place right now with weights. There you go. That's all you got to do. In the comments, appreciate everyone commenting. Please continue. If you have a question, put a couple question marks in front of it, and I'll be able to see it and definitely answer the question if it is a question. I appreciate it. And I'm trying to say your name, Johners, Wrath. Got 2 chairs. You can do chips. I think you mean dips. It also keeps your core muscles and your stability because you're maintaining balance while not flipping on your toes. Yes, so core workouts, I do believe in those. I don't do a lot of them because, again, old school dumbbells, Arnold Schwarzenegger style. But anytime you're straining your entire core, so the dips he's talking about, that does strain everything. I like dumbbells because it's not only are you getting the weight, the body part that you're working, but you're stabilizing those dumbbells. So you're actually working more muscles than you actually even know. So dumbbells help. Core strength is very important. I remember telling me that, I got one of them backs after hiking and humping for so long and all the patrols that my back hurts in the morning. And I remember the first time a doc told me a long time ago, you want to strengthen your back, strengthen your abs as well. That will help offset your sore back. Open Eye says, I need to be stronger. God wants me to take care of his temple. Amen, brother, right there. Be stronger. Here's what I also used to tell young Marines. Well, you can't do pull-ups. How are you if your house is on fire? The only way out is up and over a wall. You can't pull your own body weight up. You're going to die. So there's a lot of reasons to be in shape. Here's another good one. I have kids, a wife and kids. I need to be able to take care of them no matter what. I see Jake has an question. How do I stay awake in the morning and still be alert? Come on, Jake. Coffee. Might not be for everybody, but that's how I do it. I'm a morning person. You could ask my family. It's a little annoying at times. I wake up early and I'm ready to go. Coffee does help. Dr. Rizzi says, how old is too old to join the Marines? Is 21 a little too late? Absolutely not. I think, again, 31 was the number for a long time. Don't quote me on that. I don't know what it is today, but I also know that everything's waverable. Okay, if you're in shape, you're 32, you're over the whatever the limit is, everything can be waived. How bad do you want it? Okay, talk to the right people, talk to the recruiters, get them in. You're going to have to do a PFT to show them that you're physically fit, no matter what your age is, but you can do it. So I think it's 31 to answer your question. What else? What other questions you have? 22, consider joining. I want to get in weight and better strength first. Open eyes again. Yes, again, PT. So here's the other thing I talked about. My workout schedule is 5 days, not Monday through Friday. It's 5 days. And here's why. Again, back to the day off. You never know when something could come up and you'll miss a day. Okay, in the gyms, again, over my lifetime, Mondays are the worst. Everyone's doing chest on Mondays. Chest and tries seems to be the Monday workout because it's fun. Doing bench press is fun. How much you bench, bro? People like to bench a lot. So Mondays across the world, in America anyway, seems to be chest days Monday. But I do a 5-day, no matter what day of the week it starts on. Chest and tries is my day one, so when it falls on a Monday, it's not very good. Chest and tries, day one. Back and buys, day two. Shoulders and traps, day three. Legs, day four. Abs and cardio, day five. Okay, let's just say I started on a Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday's going to be chest and tries again. And here's my thought process for that. There are going to be times that, I can't make it today. And if it happens to be on legs day, never skip legs day. But if it falls on legs day and I miss that day for whatever reason, the very next day is still legs day and it's still my 5-day routine. Totally against the Monday through Friday and taking 2 days off. That's just me. I can't do it. 2 days off, I feel like I'm missing way too much. Yes, your body needs to rest and recover. As long as you're not working big body parts like every other day. Like if you do a bench Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're not giving your chest, the big muscle, time to grow. So you definitely have to give those muscles, the big muscles, time to grow. Now, here's the best part. There are exercises that work so many muscles, you can do them every day. Pull-ups, push-ups, crunches, and of course, cardio. Those you can do every day. So if it is a day that I have to miss, I am going to do one of those. Knock out some push-ups. You don't need any room to do that. You don't need any space. All right. Chala, I balance my lifts with my runs, boxing and jiu-jitsu. Love it. 100%. I boxed growing up. I'm still trying to get into jiu-jitsu, but boxing definitely is a butt kicker. Remember my dad used to make us just hold up our gloves. Just hold them up. See how long you can hold straight out in front of you, that, building your arms, building your shoulders, and everything involved in it. And jiu-jitsu, again, I want to. I've done it a few times. Of course, the Marine Corps martial arts program is a little similar, but not enough. And I definitely want to get into jiu-jitsu. So keep after it, Chala. Keep getting it. ATL, you're an inspiration. King, keep up the mighty work. Thank you. Appreciate that very, very much. We all inspire each other. Shadow boxing with weights does the number. Make sure they're them 2.5s, Charlie. Don't be shadow boxing with 50-pound dumbbells. Open Eye says, love doing push-ups. Okay, diamond push-ups, shoulder width, wide grip, anything. Again, you can thrash yourself and stay in shape with anything. Michael's Drones and RCs and Knives. Good to see you, brother. It's good to see you, Sergeant Major, sir. Yes, welcome. Welcome. Wrath, his dad was a SEAL in Vietnam, and Gramps was a World War II Army Air Corps drill sergeant. Awesome. Bless them both. Thank them for their, thank you. Thank them for their service. I know Hambone Sports, just spreading the love. God loves you. And God loves you, Hambone. Amen. Dad used to make the iron cross with dictionaries. That's it. Holding something out. Again, you see office workouts, right? They have maybe they're sitting on the ball or something on their feet, some kind of exercise. If you do sit behind a desk, which I can't do for very long because I can't even sit still, but I got to get up and move and do something, even some push-ups on a raised surface on the desk chair, some kind of physical fitness. So I like our group seems to be kind of in the same mindset. Like Michael's Drone says, 66 years old. I get up every morning at 07. I need 30 minutes every morning. Need 30 push-ups. Then I run a mile every day. That's the way my day starts. Awesome. Semper Fi, brother. That's a great way to start the day. Upside down push-ups. Ed Credence, 62. Pull-ups are my number one, and stay flexible. There you go. Telling you, again, great comments, and sometimes I feel like I'm like the only one in that mindset. I know I'm not, and I'll never stop PTing. So very inspiring to the older gentlemen in the crowd. I'm right behind you, but I want to continue it. So this would be something that, again, I'd be interested in creating a group online. Not here on YouTube, not on a live, but we can create something online and continue and share each other's workouts. And keep moving forward. And it's one of those things, leadership by example. Depending on where you're working now, what you're doing, you kind of, that's what I hope to inspire with people that I'm doing it. Not one of those things that you should get in shape and I can't do a push-up. So it's something that I want to continue to demonstrate to other people that doesn't matter your age, your size. I like this one. I can't go to the gym. I'm not strong enough. I'm too out of shape. Evie, did you try it as an 8-iron? Yes, sir, I did. Chala, can you talk about the wrist lanyard available on your shop? Oh, absolutely. In the description of the channel, there is a wrist lanyard made in America by a veteran. The materials are all American. So, and I've been using one. I don't have my keys on me right here, but as soon as it was made and I purchased one, I've been using it every single day, and I use my keys every single day. And it does fit on my wrist. I don't always keep it on my wrist, but I'm playing with it. I'm one of those guys that always got to be doing something. And it's been a year. I don't know how long we've had those, but 550 cord, dummy cord, whatever you call it. And again, all made in America, by a Marine. Jake. It says, I'm 18 and can't join because of meds. I don't know all that, but I know what's because of medication, you have to be off meds for a year is what I've heard. So get with your recruiter and see it in writing. What does it take for me to join? I've been on meds. I haven't anymore. I've been off and get the doctors involved. Again, everything's waiverable. Yannick Rivas, rah. Crypt Keeper, good to see you. Powerlifting is good as well for strength, squat, bench, deadlift. Glad to see you back on YouTube. Thanks, brother. Good to see you back as well. 0311, powerlifting. So I did do that for a little while. I kind of dabbled in it, again, on base with veterans. So there's no roids and stuff, get clean, what do they call it? Get no supplements. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't do all three. And again, my back couldn't handle it anymore. Squatted forever for football when I was growing up in high school in the early parts of my career. But because of the back, I do the sled. I lay on my back where I have total support, and I can push 1,000 pounds or something. But I don't squat as much. But I did do the bench press contests, and those were really fun. Powerlifting is, got to say, is a lot easier than bodybuilding, because now you're talking about dieting and food and abs constantly. So two completely different workouts. Charles is asking what else is on the horizon for a shop. Again, that's something that we're starting. It's all pretty new. You see the shirts and the sweatshirts, the hoodies, the lanyard, stickers are on the horizon. We're working it. Thanks for asking, Chala. Fouled anchor, 48, did 11 years in the Corps, had a serious back injury. Now running is painful, but cycling has helped keep me in shape. Man, sorry to hear that, fouled anchor. I'm telling you, I'm very sensitive to anyone with any kind of back injury, because I got the old discs that are rubbing and all those things. The doc tells me you need back surgery. It's up to you kind of when you actually make it happen. And I don't want to anytime soon, because it's because I don't want to be out of commission for, he said, like 3 months. You'll be laid up, won't be able to PT. So that scares me. So it'll be a while. He says, as long as you can take the pain, and then I just got to move. So hang in there, brother, with that back pain, and take care of it. Remember when we were younger and people say, lift with your knees, not with your back. And we didn't listen to them because we knew what we were doing and we felt invincible and you can't break me. Yes, now we're paying for it. Like my production team just brought me one of the bracelets that Chala was asking about. That's it. Again, made in America, by an American, by a veteran, all parts from America. Awesome. These I'm trying to know, haven't had an issue with mine. I use it every day, all day. And I'm going to put it down, because if not, I'm going to be playing with it this whole time. But it's great. I love it. Very durable. Keychain, wristband keychain, however you want to put it. Again, I very rarely put it on my wrist, but it's awesome. In the link in our description, our Shopify. Sing Ping Poo. What's up, brother? The weight room is my second home. Yes. Me too. Anywhere I go, again, when we travel, I look for the, if we're staying at a hotel, if we're not staying at a hotel, I look for the nearest base. I do really like to check out other bases. The Air Force seems to have the nicest, the most up-to-date technological stuff in their gyms and weight rooms and the aerobic rooms and the cardio rooms, and they have all kinds of different rooms. Marines still have kind of the old school, a lot of dumbbells, and tires and sledgehammers and all the era stuff that you just kind of thrash yourself. JTB, there you go, 1046, awesome cycle. Awesome cycle, brother, that was it, 1046, that was awesome. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Yannick Rivas, Ross Arm Major. What was your favorite PT to do with your Marines? Run. Believe it or not, and I'm a bigger guy, but I absolutely love to run. I don't know what it is. I get that runner's high. I didn't for decades, but I finally got it. I run marathons. I'm not a speed demon, but I just absolutely love to run. And I got to continue to do it now. I keep telling myself, well, my back allows it, my knees allow it. And again, not a sprinter. I'm not going for any PRs or anything, but I love marathons, the Marine Corps marathon, just the motivation and everyone kind of feeling the same pain. So any kind of run. And I would get crazy with the runs. I would very rarely map anything out. I would just run. I'd find trails up in Camp Pendleton, up in the hills, up and down. There's a Sergeant Major Hill. There's a First Sergeant Hill we used to go up. The Recon Ridge. All those areas I would just kind of try to thrash us as much as possible. But I absolutely, still to this day, love to run. How much running would you do or still do? Would you run for a time or miles? So I kind of just answered all that, Eric. Appreciate the question. I love to run. I don't like to take anything with me on marathons. I don't have the belt and the juices and the squirts. I just green on green and just run. I have listened to music before, and I've even run with sunglasses before, kind of depending, but I like just going for it. Engineer Hill, 7th ESB, that was a butt kicker. Right outside our back door, Bravo Company, 7th ESB, and it was one of them, had like shelves. You'd run up, and it would kind of level off, and you're like, oh, but then there was another one, and then there was another one, and another one, and I think like somebody would add some on there, and it just never stopped. Engineer Hill was great. Loved running up there. I live in the mountains of Arizona. Every which way is uphill. Hills are great. They do definitely test your endurance. Even where we live in Hawaii is all hills. So as soon as you get out the door, it's uphill. You're already tired. But running is great, and I think Marines, again, in general, love to run. So you gotta maintain that cardio. When I can't run, I've ridden the bike. I like the treadmill better than the bike. The stairs, love the treadmill the best. C4, range 400, 29 pounds. Range 400 is a butt kicker. Range 400, a little different because you got all of your gear on, you're fighting, you're simulating, you're being attacked, and you're hitting the dirt, and it's range 400 is definitely a butt kicker. Love it. Range 10, even I remember range 10 being a test of Marinehood. Great stuff. Great stuff. Appreciate all the feedback and the questions. Here's a question for you. How often would you like to do this? Again, this is a Wednesday. We normally go live on Friday or Saturday. We did take a break for a while. That was all me. But would this be something you'd be interested in doing once or even twice a week? Again, just we're talking story about what we all like-minded people like to discuss. So let me know in the comments if this is something that you'd be interested in doing more often. Just going live, and that's what we talked about. I asked my wife, she's like, just go live, just go. Donald Pump, Semper Fi MF from the firehouse. Fireman, civilian fireman, Donald, or are you a crash crew guy? Fireman, the infantry of the air wing. Jake says, yes, let's do this. JTB, love the idea. I'm telling you, thoroughly enjoy it. I love doing the shorts. You can tell that's what I primarily, my go-to. I like just doing a quick short, getting it out there, and I like the comments and the feedback. That's where I get my engagement. But if this is something we'd all like to do, I'm a break on my job, so not ideal. I'm all in for it, says Anderson Ho. Midweek motivation, highly welcome and encouraged. Civilian was 3-3. Donald Pump, you're 3-3 America's Battalion. Good to see you again. Sergeant Major Fouled Ankle, Semper Fi, I'm out. All right, Fouled Anchor, Semper Fi, my friend. Thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Here on Bifidum, good to see you. I believe the femoral nerve injury has finally healed. I will most likely be signing up for a September MARSOC 5K probably within the next half hour. Go for it, brother. Absolutely. 5Ks. That's a good, I love doing a 5K. Again, with tons of people there. 10K, now you're talking, right? A little more endurance. Ronald Beard, May 1920, best yet to come. Abra. Gary Morton said, I'm okay with it. All right, Gary, Semper Fi to you, brother. I like that. I enjoy these too. Excuse me, JTB, here's a trivia question for me. Who was the first female Marine engineer? 1371, backbone of the Corps. Hurrah. First female Marine engineer. You got me, JT. Let's hear it. First female Marine, 1371. I know when I came off the drill field, I was a drill instructor 94 to 96. I went back to 7th ESB. Was it really Archambault? And there was females in MOS. So that short time I was a drill instructor, no females in 1371s, no female engineers. And then when I came out, the first sergeant said, hey, come here, Devil Dog, let me tell you, change a little bit. You now have females in the MOS. I was like, awesome. I had a platoon commander and a lieutenant and a corporal. Archibald was a class behind JT when he went through. Awesome. What year was that? JT, what was the year that happened? Ronald Beard, calling from Adelanto, California, 1994. There you go, makes sense. So anyway, came off the drill field 1994. We had a lieutenant, and then as time progressed, then we had a couple female officers and a couple female Marines, a lance corporal, a corporal. So they got to be all, it's got to be very commonplace now, which is great. And the engineers, the 1371s, because there was in the engineer community with the heavy equipment operators, the water guys, all those were considered engineer community, but straight up 1371 combat engineers. Interesting, 1994. Makes sense. Great trivia question, JT. The one last thing, or another thing that came up I just saw Ariel Resupply Coffee. Follow him on LinkedIn. Great guy, great company. Full Metal Jacket. He had a post on there about Full Metal Jacket and the closeness of it being accurate in boot camp. Let's be clear, is on there. LO, is that Semper Fi, mother, you know what? Maybe. Semper Fi, my friend. So he's talking about, Aero Resupply was talking about Arlie Ermy and how he played the drill instructor, Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, and how accurate it is to actual boot camp. And someone in the comments said, yes, their senior drill instructor even showed him that part, like the day before graduation or something. And that's when people ask me, we talk about how accurate are movies and what's the best. People ask me all the time, what's the most accurate? They all have Hollywood in them to a certain degree. I remember even had a buddy that wrote a book after Ramadi, and he wrote it 100% accurate from memories and notes, but by the time the editor got a hold of it, he said, well, if you want to sell these books, we got to add some stuff or take out some stuff. So same with movies. We all know that they have a military advisor. I think they are kind of limited, and they have guidelines and parameters, and again, to sell the movie, sometimes they're not as accurate as they should be. And again, we always talk about it. Cops probably feel the same way when they see cop movies, firefighters, doctors, any profession that you are, FBI, NCIS, all those, you're a professional in that field. You watch a movie about it, you're like, that doesn't happen. We would never do that. That's the Hollywood that they have to put in there to sell the product. But there are a couple, again, and Full Metal Jacket is one of the most accurate, in my opinion, as a Marine, as having gone through boot camp and been a drill instructor. Very accurate. With those times as well. Okay, that's not boot camp today, or even 10 years ago, but 20 years ago, it's definitely not. So it does times change, people change. That was another post I just had. So you have to adapt to the changing times. And unfortunately, that's when Marines in my era now, like, it's getting softer, it's getting so, all these new rules. Rules never change. It's how people were being held accountable if they're following the rules. And it's always for a training value. Talked about that before. If what you're doing to that platoon of recruits is there training value to it? If yes, then you should be doing it. If there's no training value, it's not going to make them a better Marine, a better warfighter, then you should not be doing it. Kind of as simple as that, but sometimes take things to the extreme. But Full Metal Jacket is definitely one of the most accurate movies. A Few Good Men, another favorite of mine personally. Of course, no combat action in it. And those of you that know, I did do a post on it as well, as short. What I like about that one is it describes the brotherhood and the sisterhood. It's about men, the brotherhood of the Marine Corps and how they have each other's back. I remember we got some, Jack Nicholson, he was a bad guy and he did a bad thing and got it. Got all the Hollywood part of it, and again, selling a story, but very accurate on how they displayed the camaraderie, the teamwork, the brotherhood, the following orders, the discipline, the instant willing obedience to orders. I thoroughly enjoyed that part, that feel of that movie, and I think it was very, very accurate. And one more. This is, I'll read the comments after I mention this movie because a lot of people don't like it, and that's Jarhead. It's Desert Storm, Jarhead. Very accurate. I think their military advisor probably didn't have a lot of parameters because that was accurate. There was a lot of boring parts of Desert Storm, a lot of sitting around. He is playing football with gas masks on and doing crazy, childish Lance Corporal stuff that we love to do so much. And the movie did portray a lot of that, and that is accurate. Again, I know it wasn't a Hollywood, billion-dollar movie or something, but it was accurate. So watch it again, and kind of be a little open-minded about it, and see, wow, that must be really, that's what it looked like. Right, that's what your tent city looked like. It's accurate. But a lot of great movies. The war movies, to be honest, I don't watch a lot of them. I try not to keep up, or I just don't try to keep up with the latest one, the newest one. I like watching the other branches of service about the Army. I like watching it just to kind of catch the lingo, excuse me, and make comparisons, of course. But of course, Marine movies are my favorite. All right, Brian Griffiths. Thank you for your opinions. I appreciate that, brother. That is, and please, I hope you're still sharing with each other and you're watching each other's. I can't keep up with all of them, but what this community is about, right? Like-minded people. Semper Fi from the 90s. All right. Sir Michael, 78, says, I love any military film. Kind of fancy them myself. The Pacific miniseries, I haven't watched all of that, Anderson. I want to, because I've seen enough of them that tells me I want to. I just can't get into a series right now, and because once I do, I'm going to binge on it. But I definitely want to. Here's a war movie that I absolutely love, from hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and that's good old Braveheart. That is a favorite for many different reasons, but I do love the combat, the battle part of it. When I was an instructor at the Staff NCO Academy, I used to use some of those, some of the scenes and relate it to a class like Call for Fire, right? That was my favorite when they shot the arrows. That was ancient, one of the first versions of Call for Fire, when he signaled for the archers to shoot the arrows that were on fire. It's Call for Fire, man, from way back. So and obviously it progressed over the years to what we have now, but I love the strategery, the strategic moves of, again, there was Hollywood in it, so William Wallace was a strategic master, according to the movie. And that really does relate to how we do things with war fighting now, just with today's technology. So I do like that. Braveheart is a classic. I've seen it hundreds of times. Xingping, you know what I'm talking about. Anything about the Eastern Front, World War II, is wild and terrifying. Yes, World War II, those were, again, the movies, you know, the battles that I find very, very interesting. Anything on the Eastern Front, because it's so foreign to me, obviously. Wasn't around during that time, but the enemy sometimes wasn't as easy to tell who it was. Everywhere I've fought in, it's been pretty obvious who the enemy is. With equipment and technology and just the look of the other fighters. Very easy. And then the European era geographic location, the Eastern Front, sometimes just watching the movie, I'm like, got to decipher real quick who is who. Rich J. Ra, greeting from Camp Lejeune. All right, all the way from Camp Lejeune. Are you a Lejeune Marine? Something's going on over here. Camp Lejeune. I was never stationed in Camp Lejeune. I've been there many times for schools. That's where Courthouse Bay. You've been out there. I was there back in the early days when there wasn't much out there. Engineer school, engineer NCO school, engineers chiefs course, and of course a bunch of conferences up and around Camp Lejeune. Love it. I love that area. I love the weather. I've been there in the summer and the winter. Pretty cold in the winter, but I love being there around that time. Honcho, not a Marine, but a sailor. Shipmate, what's up, my friend? I'm a SARC and surrounded by Marines. Love my brothers in arms. Saving Private Ryan, great movie. Hacksaw Ridge, great movie. And have the best World War II depiction of the war. Love both of those movies. Honcho, thanks for bringing them up. Yes, I watched Saving Private Ryan a few times. I think they're all, the actors, I think, are just geniuses in that movie, the personal feeling of it. Hacksaw Ridge, I haven't seen enough, but I do know that it is on my list of favorites. T. Lavy, Middle East must be hard to figure out surveying from enemy. That's what I'm saying. That's how I felt by watching it. Watching any movies from the Eastern Front. Used to be ordered to listen to you on the quarter day. Quarter day. Now I do it with me. That's right, JT. Good looking out, brother. Thanks for being here. Motivating. Early days, me, 83, 85. Yes. Dude. Good to see you on here. Thanks for always supporting. You always have great comments on all the shorts. Appreciate your support. Jeremy Johnson, Simplified Devil Dog. He was in Courthouse Bay for engineer, which was generator mechanic. Oh, you were there for generator mechanic. June, September 95. Jackass, Iowa, been promoting myself. I'm going to join the Marine Corps this year. Channel has helped me so much. Jackass, keep us posted, brother. Let us know how you're doing. When you take off, and then definitely as soon as you come back, let us know. You got to keep us up to date on current boot camp stuff. So see how much things have changed over the years. So good luck to you. Physical fitness, get in shape. And definitely let us know as soon as you get back, send us a picture. We'll put a post up on the page for you. Never quit or give up. They cannot help you and train you to become a United States Marine if you're not willing to give your very best. So get after it. Courthouse Bay is where I went to schoolhouse. Now I'm with 8th ESB. Love the Marine Corps even after 27 years. Percival Jenkins, URAH from Sergeant Long, Battle Los Angeles is a favorite of mine, really. I haven't seen it. Even though it was a sci-fi movie, it was displayed a Marine Corps attitude towards destroying the enemy. Love your channel. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. I've heard of the movie and I've seen the advertisement and the trailer, but I haven't watched it yet. I'm definitely going to now. Battle Los Angeles. Not a big sci-fi guy, but with that recommendation, I'm definitely going to check that out. Jack Cass, for sure. I'll be back. Again, get it, brother. Push-ups, pull-ups, 3-mile run. Get after it. No excuses. Dragon, congratulations on Corporal. Keep us informed as you move up to the years. Oh, Rich J. Thanks, Pendragon. I wasn't tracking that one. John McJunkin, Sergeant Major. Worst Navy ship you were ever on being transported for deployment. Wow. I tell you, love being on ship because, I mean, all you do is eat, sleep, and work out. So as a Marine on ship, it's a great time. And play spades. Can't forget that. I play a lot of spades. And it wasn't the ship that I'm getting ready to name, but it was the crew and how they treated Marines. The other 99% of the time, the crew, the captain, the master chiefs, we always got treated well, like guests. And I love the Navy Marine Corps team. Nothing bad to say about any of them. When I became a gunning start, was able to go into the Chiefs Mess. That's a completely different world that I absolutely love, the camaraderie of the Chiefs Mess. But we were on the Belleau Wood, this one deployment, and we actually didn't stay long. It was, for some reason, we had to transfer from one ship to the other. We're actually, as I was with the engineers at the time, we were building a bridge, medium girder bridge, MGB, we're going to transport it, some big deal. But we didn't feel very welcomed. And we knew right away when we walked for about 3 days and we're following this sailor to our and it wasn't even a berthing area. It turned out to be just a big open bay. It was a room, so it wasn't down below or anything, but we ended up in a big room. And like we had all our packs and everything. We were on the move, so we weren't permanent. It wasn't a 6 or 7 month float. So I get that part of it. But we had rules like no going outside, no going outside the walkway, and the Master Chief would come by like every 30 minutes just to check, make sure we weren't doing anything wrong. We couldn't touch anything on the walls. They brought 2 meals to us because they didn't want us walking up to the mess deck, and it was just a very uncomfortable feeling. The ship itself seemed great. I've been on a few where, you know, the water's out or we lost an engine, and there's been times, but I can't think of any ship in particular I didn't like. Just the crew of the Belleau Wood that one time. I do remember it. That's the treatment that we received. Nothing like the smell of JP9 jet fuel and body odor. It does get pretty hot and stinky down there. You go to general quarters, you're stuck in there forever. Again, if you can sleep, sleep. Alan Garrison, don't know about that heart. Don't know how that heart got there. I see it on there. Hope to see the silver and gold play button on your wall someday. Thanks, Neander dude. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, that would be great. Wrong is everywhere. Wrong guns everywhere. Wrong guns everywhere. How can I last? Oh, come on. I should have read it first before I try to figure out their name. So, physical fitness and movies, those were the topics that I did want to talk about tonight. Couple last questions. Let's be clear. In those instances with high stress, do you see people starting to crack, or are people conditioned to stay chill under day-to-day constant stress rather than warfare coping? Great question. So that's when I used to call, that's when you see people's true colors come out. under stress. When you're under stress, even something as simple as PT. There are times where I'd purposely completely thrash a unit or a platoon or a company or a battalion to check the true colors, to see what they will do in that kind of stress. It's definitely a good indicator of what you can expect in combat, where you can't control the stress or the environment or the things that the fog of war, everything that's going on. So a good place to test that is obviously in garrison where it's safe. But PT brings out the worst in people as well. Oh, good. That's it. We're doing more push-ups thanks to Jones, because Jones doesn't want to do a full push-up. That's all on purpose to test your mettle, if you will. And it definitely can show you where your unit's at, what you need to work on. So how do you deal with it? Everyone handles it differently. Which one? How do I make my first sergeant laugh or smile? Because he is mad. He's a madman. He was an SDI in San Diego. How do you make him smile? Frank Pyro. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. A question I did miss. I did. Yeah. Honcho asked a question. How do I feel about Recon Marines? Honcho, repeat that question. It passed me by, brother. I missed it. Put your question back up there. How do I make my first sergeant laugh or smile? Because he's a mad man. I tell you, okay, I'll get back to that one as well. Honcho says, what's your opinion on reconnaissance Marines? As a SARC, I'm the corpsman for them. I've been attached to 2nd and 3rd Recon Battalion. Here's my take on all special forces, and it is the same for all, even other service special forces. Obviously, I'm pro-Marine, and I love our Recon Marines and our snipers, all those guys. Here's what I think about them. They're absolutely amazing at what they do. And as long as they have the support to continue to do what they do and train to the best of their ability by equipment and time, then everything's good. I don't know if this is what you're getting at, but their attitude towards one themselves being Recon Marines or other people's attitude towards them. I'm dual cool, I'm all that. That's when I can grow some facial hair. I get that low regulation haircut. I cut the fingers off my gloves, and those aspects of being a Recon Marine, a sniper, or a motor T driver, all those rules remain the same. So as long as that individual hard charging Recon Marine is following his Marine Corps regulations, awesome. But I love our special forces operators because they are the grit of everything about being special forces. And the bad ones, if there is, they'll weed themselves out, right? Or they'll get weeded out. So I love Recon. I don't like what today we're doing with snipers. I think they're very, very important and a necessary asset to the Marine Corps. So I hope we get that right, wherever the Marine Corps is headed with that. That goes for the other services also. As much as I love the dog, the Army, Navy, Air Force. Air Force has some pretty bad, you know what's also in their PJs. But they're special forces, man. That's what they do every single day. They have the ability, and I'd even like to say the luxury. How'd you like to get paid to work out, to thrash yourself every single day and get better? All right. Rocky the Boxer. What's up, Devil Dog? 0621 here. Been out since 06. 0621. Remind me what that is. What's an 06? Calm? You remember?
I think it's a community, like a rare figure.
Yeah, is that calm? 06? Calm Marines. Love calm Marines. Talk about them, but you can't talk without them. Appreciate that question, Honcho. I get that a lot, of course, you know, from the young guys. I want to be Recon. I want to be Special Forces. I want to be Delta. Can I be? What I got to do? Hey, you got to thrash yourself. Can you? Yes, you can. Anyone can be a Navy SEAL. Anyone can do it if you have the right mindset. If you got to keep asking that question, do you think I can? No. How about you? Do you think you can? Mindset. It's available to anybody as long as you meet the qualifications, I guess, physically, and it's like being able to join the services. You got the G2 for it. You're not wanted by the law. Well, I mean, whatever. Joshua Latner, Fox 230408. Love your videos, motivated. All right, thanks, brother. Fox 23. 23. I was thinking Fox 25 for a minute. 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines. All right. Regular Boxer, 0933, best job in the world. Love it. Mattered. I can't think of what a 0933 is right now either. Those of you, when you put in your MOS number, tell me the designator also. Radio operator, says Rocky 09. Radio operator, again, talk about them, but you can't talk without them. You need them. Communication. 4421, 4422.
Legal.
0933 is a coach, marksmanship coach. Keith and Mackin. I ain't no creep. Yes, I get money, fool. Okay. I find it interesting, the lack of interest in general regarding interest in joining the military right now. Brawl striker. Okay, that's good. I find it interesting, the lack of interest in general regarding the interest in joining the military right now. So, is there a lack of interest? And why do you think it is? The Marines are the only ones, again, I think 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row, that we are meeting our recruiting goals, which is obviously great to hear all the time. We're meeting our goals. But why is there a lack of interest in wanting to join the military altogether? I'm sure you all have your own opinions. I do as well. I still think no matter what, it is a great opportunity, the right opportunity, whether you join. Not everybody joined to serve their country. People join for different reasons: school, money, a job, to stay out of jail. There's a lot of reasons why people do join, but why are the other services having a hard time right now? Marines, we haven't had that problem yet. It's because we got the best commercials, of course. Percival Jenkins, what's your honest opinion of the overall state of the Marine Corps, specifically getting rid of certain MOSs and the training of males and females together? I'll tell you my honest opinion, and I don't think anything has changed in boot camp. Just like I tell everybody right now, from when I was a recruit to today, the SOP may have changed a little bit, the SOP on recruit training. Very minor adjustments, I'm sure, nowadays, again, with technology, cell phone use for a drill instructor. There's been minor changes that change with times. But the basis of the standard operating procedures for being a drill instructor have not changed. It's the accountability piece. Are we being more held accountable now than we were back in the day? I do believe that recruits did get kind of thrashed and beat up. The Ribbon Creek incident 60, 70, 80 years ago. Today, things like that are not happening. The integration of males and females, as long as our standards don't change. I don't care who trains with who and where, as long as our standards don't change. Easy for me, back when I was in, I never wanted to be that guy, but there are some things that are changing that makes you go, really? Do we really need to lower this? The recent picture of the DI, the overweight DI, that makes me wonder what is going on in my Marine Corps. So am I worried about the way ahead with our Marine Corps? No. With the way, with the wokeness and the hurting everyone's feelings, and we're letting males compete in females, that the politics part is mind-boggling, without a doubt. But the Marine Corps itself, I think, again, our Marines are fanatical. I believe that. And it's going to be hard to break that. America has been trying to for General Burroughs saved the Marine Corps. There's been numerous occasions where they tried to disband the Marine Corps. We don't need a Marine Corps. America wants a Marine Corps. And I firmly believe that, and I don't think we'll go away. Are standards going to drop? In my opinion, they have dropped, but maybe not in your opinion or other people's opinion. So my idea on the state of the Marine Corps right now, I think we're still pretty goddamn good. And I don't think it'll change anytime soon where we would have to worry about the Marine Corps. Thanks for the question. I love it. Zing Ping Poo. I was very disturbed by the fitness of that DI, as was every Marine alive, to include Chesty Puller, who I think did roll over in his grave. Gary Rush, Sergeant Major, was a 35-31 with 3rd Ma El Toro train, MCRD San Diego. Thanks for everything. Gary, thank you for everything, brother. Always appreciate seeing you on here. Your motivation. Appreciate you. El Toro. Old school. Close that baby down. Isaiah Sanchez, good afternoon, sir. I'm headed to Marine OCS in 10 days. Do you have any advice? How can I be a successful leader and excel in OCS? Listen to your, what do they call it in OCS? Sergeant instructors. The sergeant instructors were at one time also drill instructors. They know what they're doing. They're going to set you up for success if you listen to them. The same advice in boot camp. Be loud and move fast. Do everything to the best of your ability. That's the best advice I could give you. Never quit or give up. They are going to train you to be the next world's finest 2nd lieutenant, going to get your 1st platoon. So listen to them. In 10 days, hopefully you're already in shape already. If not, you better bust your butt for the next 10 days preparing. You've already looked at everything. Your OSO should have set you up for success as well prior to even getting there. But listen to your sergeant instructors. Ask questions. Pick their brains. Find out as much as you can about the Fleet Marine Force, the FMF. This is great. Right now, you're training me to be the world's finest Marine officer. But tell me what it's really like once I get to the fleet. Brian Watson, the sea is the best planet God gave. The SAS is the best on the planet. God save the Queen. Amen, Brian. Frank Hernandez, I was a sergeant instructor in 2007, 2010. I hope he can run. Right there, sergeant instructor, you heard it from him. Thanks, Frank, appreciate you. That's it. Here's what it is in a unit, and this is real also in the Fleet Marine Force. A company of infantry Marines, okay, about 150 Marines. Of those 150 Marines, you're gonna have about 6 to 8 officers. 9 times out of 10 enlisted Marines, I'm talking to you now, 9 times out of 10, every one of those officers can outrun half of the enlisted. Why is that? Right there, OCS. There's no excuse. If you can't run, the first school I went to saw an officer drop was in Mountain Warfare Leaders Course. The very first day in Bridgeport, California, you get there, the first thing you do upon check-in and drop your bags, PT gear, run a PFT. If you don't get a 285 or above on the initial, I'm talking you hours after you got there, you get dropped immediately. They don't have time for you. And I saw a lieutenant get dropped. Didn't get a 285. He ran it, didn't get a 285. Like 2 hours later, they had him run it again, drop. That's how serious running is in physical fitness, like we talked about earlier. So, run. Honcho said, I had to go through recon training after becoming a corpsman. Yes. SARCs, they don't make it easy with the medical aspect. Wasn't meant to be. Appreciate answering the question. Docs that train with SARC and MARSOC and Recon, they have to be just as in shape as those Recon Marines. And they're carrying an M1. They still call it the M1, your bag of goodies, right? Bag of M&Ms, the Motrin, and socks. That bag ain't light either, and they got to carry it everywhere they go. Tourniquets, life-saving stuff that saves Marines' lives. So appreciate you, Corpsmen, Devil Docs. But all good training with everyone involved in it, the team aspect. Again, what state is the Marine Corps in right now? Again, I wouldn't have made some of the decisions that are made, but things change and time changes. Times change, so you got to stay with the times. There are those times when I say, what the hell is my Marine Corps? Just like when I was a young Marine active duty and an old guy would tell me, what is my Marine Corps coming to back when I was in? Yes, I'm one of those old guys because I see things and it's like, come on, really? Why is this changing? What was wrong with it? But things change. Times change. All right, John McJunkin. For all those recruits out there headed to boot camp, a little advice here. Don't let your DI fool you into calling home. After arriving at receiving, it won't end well for anyone. That was a fun one too, the cell phone usage. I think the Army was the one that they're going to allow 5 phone calls throughout, or 5-minute phone calls on the weekends. Or do we need phones in boot camp? Do you need phone calls? Again, still I firmly believe that no, that initial phone call, hi mom, I got there, I'm married safe and I'm getting ready to train, talk to you in 3 months. If there's an emergency throughout, of course, boot camp, if there's a reason to, well, absolutely. It's not that it's not prison, but to remain focused. I think no need for phones at all. My favorite is that one story I told where the senior told me to take the platoon to the phone center. And yes, both Parris Island, San Diego, there's phone centers, there's phones available. I like when people say, there were no phones when I was there. Yes, there's phones available. You just didn't get to use it. But I think sometimes that phone call doesn't do well, because then you miss home even more. Then that's on your mind. It's on your, again, focus. 3 months, man, that's 3 months. No need for phones, especially cell phones when you can do other weird stuff on them. So I'm sticking to the cell phone one. No need. Write a letter. Anderson Ho said it, right? Kids today don't write letters. They don't even know how to address an envelope. So it'd be good training for all of them. I don't mean to be rude, but what was the British? Brian says, I don't mean to be rude, but we the British Army, aka SAS, train your special forces. Look it up. God save the Queen. All right. Good on you, Brian. Awesome. Yes. Again, I've trained with many foreign countries, and I'll say it, the badasses are badasses in all the services. Trained with the Royal Marines many times up in Bridgepoint. Some tough guys. The color sergeant would thrash us every day, and then we take them on a run when we got at the bottom of the hill. And it was pain shared for sure. Love it. FC, a story haircut. Hurrah. All right, I got hair up there. Giovanni Verdi, what can you send to RCT to motivate them, to recruit, to motivate them, also not to make them homesick, but keep them moving? I didn't see him. I didn't see him. What can you send to the recruits? Motivation letters. Pictures, they allow pictures. Just a couple. Just get a minute on a 1 hour night from what I remember. I missed him. Chicken, was that you? Did I see you flash by? Chicken has arisen. Send me another message, brother. Oh, there you are. Chicken says, good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming. Royal Marine Commandos are some hard-charging mofos. Rock Marines are right there with them. Amen, brother. I'm telling you, all services, all countries have some bad mofos in their different services. So you're right, Chicken. Good to see you, brother. Back to what you can send a recruit. If it's someone you love dearly, like when my daughter was in boot camp, I wanted to set her up for a good thrashing. So you can put some stuff on the outside of the envelope, like, really, your drone instructors are weak? Wow, I didn't know that. So you can definitely set them up. Spray perfume on it, or for the female Marines that go, spray some kind of cologne, so you can mess with them, But again, you just want to motivate them, send letters. Just send letters. You don't send any crap. They don't have room for it. They're not allowed to keep any of it. Don't send a box of cookies, none of that crap. They're training. Yeah, I mean, again, you want to have some fun with it, put Go Army on the outside. Or do you like your drill sergeants? So you can definitely mess with your recruit if you'd like, but just send letters. Everything's fine back home. Don't send no bad news. The dog just died. Wait till they get home. Let them concentrate on becoming a United States Marine. But send letters, many of them. There's nothing better in boot camp than receiving a letter from home. And there's nothing worse than hearing every other recruit's name called except yours. So please send your recruits letters, motivate them. Jackass, what made you want to join the Marines? Great question. I didn't know what I was going to do after high school. College wasn't on the horizon. I wasn't a terrible student, but I also didn't give 100%. I had no accountability growing up. Great family, loving family, but no one in my family had graduated high school. Definitely no one in college. The recruiter got me. He saw that I had no direction, no purpose. He helped clean up my record, driving record. I was a mess in high school, and I saw it. I saw potential. I didn't know anything about any of the services. Once I started learning about them, and yes, the dress blues caught my eyes in the parades and ceremonies. Of course, we looked like the toughest, and my recruiter was slick. I was a football player, and I was an athlete. But when he told me that one day, I don't think you can make it. When he told me that, of course, yes, I was simple, and I said, well, I'll show you. And then here I am many, many decades later. So good on you, Sergeant McBain, my recruiter many years ago. Thanks for the question. I appreciate that. Thank you, Giovanni. Appreciate you. Brian, my partner was in Signals. So proud of her. She is a bad A. You know that. The British Army. Amen, brother. You know a lot of tough ones. Good on you. But different reasons. And that's the reason, again, for this community that you are helping grow. Appreciate all of you. Chase Hunt says, when you got to Sergeant Major, how did the more senior Sergeants Major treat you? It's another great question. The Sergeant Major community is small. Again, this is when I first became a Sergeant Major. There's about 300, give or take, 10 or 20, 300 Sergeant Majors roughly at a time. So not a whole lot. So the community is small. You don't all know each other. I didn't know all of them, but I knew of them, and we had obviously served together over the decades. So senior sergeants major, because there still is a pecking order, although you're all E9s and you're all sergeants major, someone's senior. If you're in a regimental sergeant major is senior to the battalion sergeant's major. So he's still your boss. He can tell you he's in charge. So I never, not never, I had a run in a couple of times here and there with, goddamn you sergeant major, I tell you what, kind of got the knife hand, but I can easily answer 100% professional. Heard about some sergeant majors putting other sergeant majors at the position of attention, but I got to wonder, the one on the receiving end, what did he do wrong? But completely professional. Same with the master gunnery sergeants. Never had a bad experience with any of both E9s. Right, love it. I love the camaraderie. Hancock 2008. Do you think you could actually handle the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket? Drill instructor from Full Metal Jacket, Hancock. And yeah, absolutely. Easy to say now, knowing what I know. Here's a funny thing. Frank Pyro, please repeat yours. I didn't get to see the full question, Frank Pyro. Chicken says, Sergeant Major continue serve by giving knowledge and motivation to future devil dogs. Oh, bro. Thanks, brother. Chicken, we're all doing that. That's what this community is all about. But Frank, put your question back up. The interesting thing also about Full Metal Jacket is it came out after I joined the Marine Corps. So the very little I knew about the Marine Corps when I joined, I wonder if I had seen that movie first, would I still have joined? Not a military bone in my body when I was in high school. Didn't know anything about it. Frank Pirate says, could you please relate how to make my first sergeant laugh or smile? That's a tough one because I don't know your first sergeant. How could you make him laugh or smile? Is he a dad? Find some dad jokes. Laugh, would you make your first sergeant laugh or smile? I think when I was a first sergeant, I was in a bad mood. Marines always do some crazy stuff. Marines are always, especially the male Marines, touching each other, weird, farting on each other, doing teenage boy stuff. Lance corporals will make you laugh all the time. So here's one. Here's a story that it wasn't making the first sergeant laugh, but it was making our company commander laugh. Brand new second lieutenant. We were in the field. We were in like Korea or something, and we had been without some good food for a while. And one of the Korean guys rode on his bicycle and he had grapes. He sold us some grapes, and who cares? You pay $100 for a bushel of grapes when you've been in the field without some fresh fruit. So we all had these grapes, and out of nowhere, I was messing with the lieutenant. I was like, hey, sir, you know I hold the record, right? He's like, what record? Put most grapes in my mouth. I got the record in the battalion. Easy. 42 grapes, making it all up. The lieutenant said, oh, yeah? And he started putting grapes in his mouth, start filling them up. And he had a bunch. And we're on a field evolution, so it wasn't a time to be screwing around like that. And sure enough, as soon as he gets his mouth full of grapes, I don't remember how many he had, but he was drooling, and it was cold at the time. He was trying to count, and sure enough, battalion commander walks up. Hey, we need to, he looked at the lieutenant like, Lieutenant Rogers, if you're out there, if you're listening, like, Lieutenant, what are you doing? What is the matter with you? And he was trying to say, I have the record. I think I got the record. And he was drooling. Grapes started coming out of his mouth. So Marines doing Marine things, especially with our lieutenants. Loved it. So make him laugh. You got to find out what makes him laugh, what makes him tick. It was hilarious. One of those things that you kind of had to be there, but you could see, and of course none of us could stop laughing. And the company commander and battalion commander were pretty pissed. That was great. Frank Pryor, just tell your first sergeant or sergeant major that you want to win the Congressional Medal of Honor. Oh no, John, that might not make them laugh. Hope that helped, Frank. Find it. Find the way, and you'd be surprised what makes people laugh. Giovanni says, hey, sir, what would you suggest to mothers who are going nuts because their baby is having a tough time? And would you approach your mother's stress as a husband? So family members. I think that's your question, and it's gone now. But family members of Marines deployed, or when you recruit your son or daughters in boot camp, the family members' role. Here's one thing that I know my wife would definitely not do is, again, with the bad news. There's a time and a place to deliver bad news, and the last thing a Marine needs to hear before going on patrol is bad news. A recruit trying to graduate boot camp is bad news. And at times I was like, man, why are they keeping that? Why would you keep that from me? And it's for the best of you so you can remain focused. Even my mother had some bad news about my father halfway through something, and she didn't tell me, and I felt like I was the last to find out. Why am I the last to find out? I got offended by it, but realized it was for the right reason. So I don't know if I hit your question right, but on the other side of it, how do you calm a mom down from worrying so much? My daughter's a Marine, so when she was in boot camp, you tell me I wasn't stressed a little bit. I didn't portray that stress on her at all. The letters were, hey, everything's great back here. Keep kicking butt and taking names, so keeping everything positive until you're face to face again. And know that first, Brian Olay, Big O, I saw you on there, brother. Thanks for being here. We'll chat in a minute. But to keep somebody from stressing, like my wife and I would have conversations like, what do you think she's doing now? Well, I think she's probably getting thrashed, but she's becoming a Marine. So trust the process, trust the system. So find support groups. Subscribe to this channel. That's how you help stress. Get your mother-in-law or whoever the parent is on a channel like this where you can ask questions like that and discuss it, and just know that your son or daughter is deployed, but the Marines are going to take the very best care of them. They've been trained, right? Don't let anyone ever say that I wish I would have trained him or her better, because they're getting the very best training that there possibly is. Bennett Gamer, maybe? Advice on how to stay motivated for all the reservists. I'm battery low over here. Reservists, how do you say, all right, well, again, another good question. You can plug it into this side, I think, right here. So, frozen up there. Maybe I'm not frozen. So reservists, I was never a reservist, so I can't speak too intelligently on it, but I did train reservists in Missouri when I was a faculty advisor at the Staff NCO Academy. So that was kind of my first introduction to the reservists. And it does seem like a different breed of Marine, but luckily they're still Marines. So they know the lingo. They've been there, they've done that, either OCS or boot camp. So ain't no different. Once a Marine, always a Marine. How do you keep your reserve unit motivated? So my daughter's in a reserve unit right now, and she's bringing the active duty attitude with her, and that's contagious. Leadership by example. Are there bad reservists? Yep. Are there bad active duty? Yep. So it's what you do as a leader to not let them affect you or take your motivation away from you. 100% lead by example, right? Don't fall into the crowd. Don't get that attitude, well, if I can't beat them, I'm going to join them. Nope. Keep pushing. And this transfers over into the civilian community when you're in a job that you're in and the motivation is low and your coworkers are complacent and just there for a paycheck. So it doesn't stop just in the service, and it's not only in the reserves. That's you as an individual maintaining your motivation. My wife tells me all the time, well, you're going to hear it again, you don't lower your standards, right? Keep your standards high, but your expectations are going to fluctuate. You're not going to, no one's ever going to live up to your standard. Well, maybe, but when they're not living up to your standards, you can't drop yours to meet theirs. You have to lower your expectations, and hopefully your motivation will rub off onto them, in my opinion. So don't stop. Never quit or give up. It's like the last short. You have to continue to push them, and don't get that attitude, well, I just might as well quit and give up and join them. Looks pretty easy what they're doing. Nope, don't do it. John Majungan says, when you're in boot camp or any advanced schooling or training, you are there to do a job. So both you and your family need to understand that. Nothing lasts forever. Boot camp is just 3 months. Amen. John McJunkin, 3 months, right? That's why the cell phone thing, that kind of, you can't live 3 months without a cell phone. Come on, you got bigger problems then. 3 months. I would love to go 3 months without my cell phone right now. Absolutely. The chicken has risen. Facts, John. You're absolutely right. 3 months. That's why my family would kind of make fun of me when we would watch Survivor. Those of you that watch that show, and they're like on day 28, right, when they finally get a letter from home or a phone call, or even when family members show up It's like they had been away for 10 years, the way they react when they see their family member. Come on, man, really? What is survivors, like 38 days, whatever? It's nothing. Service members and families, you know what I'm talking about. Come on. 7-month deployment. Army does 12 to 18-month deployments. That's a long time away from your family. So 3 months, suck it up. Dr. Disrespect, it looks like. When I was in reserves, I got a job that paid well and also kept me in shape. I was UPS delivery driver. Always wanted to do that. Ran every package to the door. Never had any difficulty with PT. Good diet too. Good on you, doc. I always wanted to be either a mailman or a UPS delivery guy, just for that reason right there. Lifting boxes all day long, running to and from. Great way to stay in shape. Yes, chicken has arisen. My goodness. So sick of seeing YouTube shorts of Marines with their cell phones acting foolish. Me too. It's like, come on. Making fools out of themselves, first of all, and again, portraying the service in a bad light. Like a Dr. Disrespect in uniform. When these people do this in uniform, I feel you, and it definitely is annoying. I'd like to have a phone call with one of them and say, look, come on, take the uniform off, or wait till your contract expires, your EAS expires. Wait till EAS and do all the foolish stuff you want, but don't represent us in that light. It's not unprofessional. But when you're using it for good, passing information, helping people out, building community, you want to think it's common sense. Not so common nowadays. Someone said that the state of the Marine Corps is good. It's our society that's starting to make you wonder. Yes, Zing Ping Poo bothers the crap out of me too. John McJunkin says, try survivor in Beirut, Lebanon from 82 to 83. You were in Beirut, had an awesome platoon sergeant growing up who was also in Beirut, survived. Lost a lot of buddies, so God bless them all, and I hope they're resting in peace, resting in power, the ones that didn't make it back. So prayers go up to them, and you, brother, you lost some Marines over there. Chicken has origin. Last name is on your blouse, but more important, so is the U.S. Marines. Chicken gets it, right? It says U.S. Marines. And I know there's rules against, you can't do political stuff while in uniform. You can't represent the Marine Corps while in uniform at a political something. Should be the same way for acting a fool. You can't do it while you're wearing the uniform. Stop it. Giovanni, why did USMC get rid of sniper school? Is that true? So it is, Giovanni. Unfortunately, again, we talked about it earlier. Snipers are some bad mofos. Again, I don't know all the details of it. I'm sure they had tons of meetings about it and got input from hopefully current, former, active. Hopefully they did enough research to realize it's technology. If you ask me, it's got to be. Can you do something with that Mattis? You know who that is over there. That's Mattis. Bad Dog Mattis. That's who that is. So I think it's technology. With again, can we afford to keep putting Marines on the ground and putting them in harm's way when we can send a drone? Again, I don't know enough about it to comment on it, but I love our Marine snipers. And there are some rogue ones every now and then. They like to grow their beards out, and I couldn't shave. Come on, Marine standards, always. When you're in the bush, when you're in the desert, when you're hiding in a building, taking out the bad guys, do it naked. Who cares? But when you come back to garrison and civilians and people, look like a Marine. Feliciano Ortiz, good job, Marine. 0321, Era. Engineer, 0321, engineer, infantry officer, Era. Sniper. Zing Ping Poo, I know they were doing away with it, yes, yeah. Who would you train? Who would train with, Goku or Bruce Lee? How about, what's the other guy's name? Bruce Lee was a bad mofo. Dragon Ball Z reference. Bruce Lee, of course. Chuck Norris. Come on, he can unscramble eggs. There you go, George. At the same time. All right. All right. Great conversation. Big O, ask a question. Let's see something. Are we going to see you soon? Pendragon says sniper school probably got shuffled because it was probably proven that a USMC infantry trained sergeant. Okay. With the same equipment, with the same effect. I'm thinking you're onto something there, Pendragon. Australian polar bear. You look like the final boss in George Floyd, the video game. Haven't seen it. Hope that's a compliment. Love the dog. Love the dog. What's his name? Giovanni. That's Mattis. That's my daughter's Doberman. Beautiful dog. A little undisciplined, as you can tell. Beautiful, smart. We just need to train him. He was a rescue dog that my daughter got from the pound. And I'm telling you, his ears are clipped. He's been on a video or two. Mad dog, bad dog, Mattis. He's awesome. Hancock says, heard that Chuck Norris, he created the universe with his Kais. I think that might have been misspelled. He's a good dog. He's a good dog. I looked at full of energy. That's why we're not positive of his age, but he definitely has the energy of a puppy, like a year or two old. Iron sights and Kentucky windage is all the Marine needs. Still love me some iron sights. Absolutely. Kentucky windage, it's the same. Although scopes help. Right now I just put a scope on my pistol, and that helps quite a bit. Hancock, I heard that Chuck Norris created the universe with his kick. There you go. That makes much more sense. Hancock, appreciate it. Giovanni says, I had a Doberman for 14 years. They definitely need attention and style. Yes, he has to be near one of us, touching one of us. Loves the family, great guard dog, full of energy. He wishes he can climb a tree. He chases squirrels and chipmunks up trees. He did get kind of scared. Things kind of spook him out a little bit. We don't know what kind of childhood he had, but he does get spooked every now and then. Saw a snake one time, scared the bejesus out of him. He jumped about 10 feet in the air. He was so scared. But a great dog. Love Dobermans. JG, is that me? So this was a midweek live. Love it. Again, if we're going to continue doing lives, I think it really is a good time building this community, seeing some new names on here. So appreciate it. Appreciate y'all being here. George says, fearless fighter, Chihuahua. Maybe. MDH, did you ever run across or know Sergeant Major Dan Flegel? Yes, of course I know Flegel. Where from? We're drill instructors together. I definitely know Flegel. Hancock, would you rather get hurt by a pit bull or a taser? I've been tased a few times, so I can take that. I don't know if I'd want a pit bull biting my neck. I'll take a taser any day over. I think a dog would tear anyone up. You've seen it. You've seen the police dogs when they attack bad guys. They're relentless. So I'll take a taser. Dr. Disrespect said, do you remember our master guns from 3-3 Sawyer? 2, Sergeant Major Master Gun Sawyer or Master Guns Troy Buss from 3-3. Yes, I remember them both very well. And yes, Master Gun Sawyer was definitely a beast. Master Guns Buss was another beast who could still, at his age, probably today, still run a 300 PFT, without a doubt. Big guys, too. Both of them big guys, and they could run. Chicken has risen. Sergeant Major 75 and URAH. He just installed his Marine Corps League Commandant for the Rose City Detachment here in Tyler, Texas. Very cool. Awesome. Is that you talking about Sawyer or Bus? MDH? It's got to be Sawyer, I'm guessing. Yeah, Sawyer. Okay.
No, Flegel.
Oh, Flegel. Oh, talking two different stories right now. Yes, I know Flegel. Tell him I said, Abra, give him a shout out for me. Tell him to join our community. Right there. Can continue to help us build. He is a beast as well. Hancock says, fighting what you do, prefer I do Wing Chun or Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu, only because I don't know Wing Chun. So best advice for getting into civil service? 1DK, retired Air Force, and can't find employment. All right, this right here, brother, this community. Anyone know how to join civil service? Please put it in the comments and continue, stay with us, and follow the channel. That's again exactly what we want to do. Help each other with any kind of issues. You see what we talk about here. I don't know how to join civil service. Got to get back to work. Zing Ping Poo. Semper Fi, brother. Thanks for hanging out with us. AMDH says we'll do. Keep grinding, man. We're doing it. Wing Chun is for grandpas. Well, I'm not a grandpa, but I'll try it. With lower back pain. There you go. All right, that makes more sense. I could do that. It's in there. My back's starting to hurt. Which one should I join, the Space Force or the Air Force? The Marine Corps, Hancock. Why would you join anything but the Marine Corps? Space Force or the Air Force? I don't know what I know of both of them. 0311, Infantry, Marine Corps. Depends on what you want to do, brother. Again, ask people of all the services. When the recruiter was hitting me up, I told my dad, I think I'm going to join the Marines. He said, you're not joining anything until you talk to all the other services. So I did. Went into the other recruiting offices, and sure enough, as soon as I walked in the Navy, hey, sir, I'm thinking about joining the Navy. He said, no, you're not. I've seen you with the Marine. You're already brainwashed. You're going to be a Marine, the world's first, fighting for his first to fight, devil dog, semper fi, leatherneck. Go and just take a flyer pamphlet, show your dad you came to. So, yes, thank God. Giovanni says, what are the best jobs in the Marines that will transfer to civilian jobs? Another great question. Again, depending on what you like to do. I signed infantry, joined infantry because I didn't care what I wanted to do, and even had a Marine that I knew for a very long time say, you join the Marine Corps to be a Marine. Your job's secondary. And again, I know some people join the service to go to school, for a job, to stay out of jail, for whatever reason. A Marine, you join the Marine Corps to be a Marine. Every Marine a rifleman, you're a Marine first. But planning for the future, 100%, I agree with that as well. So check every single MOS and decide what you want to do if you do get out after your first 4 years. So the best job, only you can answer that. Once you look at all the jobs and see what the opportunities are. A lot of people say right now, anything in the communication field, the technical field, the computers, language, law. I mean, that's only you can answer which job transfers the best over. I was an engineer, combat engineer, spent half my career with the infantry, and I think I can do anything I want to do. So it's up to you. HE mechanic, That I always hear that. HE mechanics in the real world, the civilian world make great money. Well, in the civilian world make great money. So it depends on what you want to do. Motor pool's good. Age out past 40. Logistics, finance. Again, that's you need to answer that once you check the MOS roster and read specifically what each one does, what you can learn. It's also what you do while you're in the Marine Corps. Off-duty education. As much education, you never stop learning. So question you and your family, if you're married, that's something that you have to answer and find out. But I like that. When I heard that, you join the Marine Corps to be a Marine. Coast Guard, what I do like about the Coast Guard, how they do it is you sign up with no MOS. I think, is the Coast Guard the only one to do that? You're a coastie and you do every single job in the first, I don't know, 6 months or something. So you do firefighting stuff, you scrape barnacles off ship, you in the mess deck and you're cooking, and then they decide they figure out what you're best at, and then you get your rate or MOS, whatever the Coast Guard calls it. I think that's a pretty good way, because you might think you want to be a motor T driver and drive big trucks all around. You may not be a very good driver, but you're not going to find that out until you start driving. So just be careful. You can make lateral moves, lat move, if one MOS is not working for you. It's nothing is easy in the Marine Corps, but if your MOS closes and you want to try a new one, there's waivers for everything. You've heard me say that a few times. So figure it out. Any teenage boy were to ask me, I'm going to join the Marines, what should I do? 0300 infantry. 100% with all the conviction in the world. It's a different lifestyle. It's a hard lifestyle, but it definitely makes you appreciate life and being a man. I think it's great for young men. 03 infantry, you made it. Great questions, great feedback, great community tonight. Appreciate all of you very much. Makes me want to do more lives. It absolutely does. It's definitely a good time. Check our description on the page, our Patreon group. Still appreciate all of you very much. We will definitely continue to do these more often. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your motivation. Keep getting after it. Keep PTing and go for a run. Semper Fi, my friends. Hurrah!